What's the deal, pickles? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I'm Kia Sims, and today I'm going to show you guys 40 plus gameplay mods to improve your game, because I'm always getting asked what mods I play with and what mods I recommend, so I decided to make this video to showcase a few of them. It's not all of the mods I use in my game because I use way too many, but we are going to start with 40 and just go from there. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first category that I'm going over is game settings related mods, and I know I said this was a gameplay mods type video, but these mods are still strongly related to gameplay, so I include them anyway, okay? Leave me alone. But of course the first mod up is MC Command Center, which is honestly a hard mod to summarize just because it has so many functions, but you're able to cheat emotions. If your sim owns a restaurant or a store, you can increase the retail and restaurant points. You can easily edit sims relationships and copy and paste outfits. It's definitely a must-have for me, but if it's going to be your first time downloading this mod, I definitely read up on it a little bit because I'm honestly not even covering half of the mod's features. Next up is the UI Cheats mod, which is basically another little cheaty mod. You're able to change the weather, season, time, temperature, all by right-clicking on the icons. You can right-click on your simoleons to change how much money your sims have instead of putting in a specific cheat. You can right-click your sims' needs to cheat them higher or lower. Honestly, it's just a top-tier mod, okay? And I don't even open up my game without it. Next up, we have Carl's Gameplay mod, which is a mod I use to make the game a little bit more difficult. Sometimes it can feel like it's too easy to play The Sims, and so this mod adds features that can make bills more expensive, make it harder to make friends, make it so that your sims earn less money. Oh yeah, it can also add burglars into the game, so personally I really like this mod, but you know, maybe I'm just an evil monster who likes watching my sims struggle. Lastly, in the game settings category, we have the All Worlds Are Residential mod, which if you have the Jungle Adventures or Outdoor Retreat pack, it unlocks the 2 worlds that came with those packs so that your sim can actually live in them instead of them being strictly vacation worlds. Next up, we're going to talk about mods that affect your sims personally. So now that we're dealing with mods that affect your sims personally, the first mod I have is the Plan Outfits Cost Money mod, which is pretty self-explanatory by the name, but it basically changes the plan outfit interaction on the mirror to cost 250 simoleons. I like bringing my sims to retail clothing store lots and using this interaction on the mirror so that it can feel like they're actually spending money on new outfits instead of just having an infinitely large closet. So this is definitely a mod I'd recommend. Next mod is a more simple mod, but it's the Memory Panel mod by Lumpino, which basically brings back a system like The Sims 2 had and stores your memories for each individual sim. This specific sim was created in Cass and Giving Kid, so that's why she only has 2 labeled memories, but if you were to check this for a sim born in game whose life you've actually played through, you probably have way more memories, like first kiss, getting married, having kids, etc, etc. And so I just think it's really cute to have all of these memories labeled in one place to look back on. Next up, we have the Auto Zodiacs mod, which adds the Western zodiac signs to your game. I like this mod because unlike other zodiac mods, these ones don't take up a trait spot in Cass. It's under a different category, so you don't have to sacrifice giving your sim a trait in order to give them one of the signs. But once they're turned on, they'll auto-apply to any newborn babies in the game, and each sign affects the sims differently. So depending on your sim sign, some sims will be more creative, some more practical. It's honestly just a really well thought out mod, and so y'all should consider installing it. Next, in the same kind of category as subtraits, we have the Talents and Weaknesses mod, which adds exactly what it says. It makes it so that your sims can naturally be gifted at some things and also be naturally bad at some things. It's definitely a realistic touch, and it also has a cheat menu so that if you have a storyline that requires a sim to be good or bad at something, it doesn't have to be completely randomized. Next up, we have the SimNation Travel mod, which adds a whole travel system to your Sims game. It makes it so that the Sims will actually have to either have a bus pass, a bike, or a license with some sort of mode of transportation to travel. It also makes it so that in order to go on vacations, you have to book travel reservations and go through a semi-realistic process of choosing what class you fly and choosing what type of protection plan you have on your baggage, like cute little pop-ups like that. When I say I love this mod, and it's probably as close as we're gonna get get to getting cars in The Sims 4 if we're being real. So yeah, and of course, if the whole aspect of buying and registering a car or bike or getting a bus pass is too complicated, you can always continue to make your Sims travel like normal using the M key on your keyboard, so it's not a complete overhaul unless you want it to be. Next mod we have in this category is probably the biggest, but that is the private practice mod, which adds a complete healthcare system to the game, allowing your Sims to go to a literal active lot clinic for checkups where you have to schedule appointments for your Sims. They might have to give urine samples, check their blood pressure, have x-rays done, the whole realistic 9. I like this mod because it definitely feels like an add-on to the get to work doctor career, except patient edition. And of course, afterward, your Sims will actually get health reports detailing certain lifestyle changes they might want to make to live longer. They can also be prescribed medications, and of course, after all is said and done, they'll have to pay their hospital bills. The last mod in this category is a mod I actually don't have installed at the moment because it's outdated at the time that I'm recording this, but it's Kawaii Stacy's Slice of Life mod, which I think is a pretty popular and well-known mod, but if you've never heard of it before, it basically adds all sorts of systems in one mod, such as its own memory system, a module that allows Sims appearances to change based on situations, like adding blush when a Sim is flirty or drunk, and adding dark circles when the Sim is tired. Again, I would love to be able to actually showcase this mod in all of its glory, but yeah, it's outdated at the moment, so hopefully by the time this video is up, it's updated again. So now that we've gone over those, I'm going to quickly go through the interaction type mods with you guys. The first one is super cute and simple. It's the Invite to Lie on Lap mod, which lets your Sims be all cute and intimate, plus it raises their relationship. So yeah, it's just a cute mod that lets your Sims lay on each other's laps. Then we have the Cuddle in Bed mod, which looks a little crazy because of the pillows on my Sims bed, but I'll insert an accurate picture of what it's supposed to look like, okay? But yeah, what can I say? I just like cute mods, and this is definitely a cute mod. Next mod is the Simple Greetings mod, which unlocks all of the greetings in your Sims game and allows you to choose how your Sims say hello to each other. Also, it does actually improve the relationships after doing these interactions, so it's not just for aesthetics. Next is the Seasonal Occasions mod, which adds a bunch of new season relevant interactions depending obviously on the season. So you'll have summer specific interactions available in the summer, spring related conversation options in the spring. Y'all get it, okay? It's super cute and useful. The next few mods are not so much interactions that your Sims can do, but more so interactions that can happen to them, so I won't be able to show them in game because they occur randomly. But first up is the Delayed Interactions mod, which makes it so that if your Sim gets invited somewhere, you don't have to leave immediately, and you can actually choose what time your Sim leaves and accepts the invitation. Then we have the Autonomous Go Steady and Propose mod, which makes it so that your Sims are more likely to get proposed to and asked out by their Sims in relationships, even if they're outside of the household. Same thing for the Autonomous Breakup mod and Divorce mod, except there's a slight tone shift. Obviously, this makes it possible for your Sims to get broken up with and divorced by their partners, again, even if both partners are not in the same household. And finally, in this category, we have the Realistic Reactions mod, which makes it so that your Sims have stronger reactions to big events like cheating. An example being in the picture that a child Sim is being affected by their parents' divorce and their parents cheating, because in reality, everybody in a household would be affected by a parent's infidelity and not just their partner. And so that is it for the interaction type mods. Next up is the Family and Pregnancy category. First up is the Family and Youth Activities mod, which adds a bunch of rabbit hole activities for your Sims to go to and come back with varying moodlets. After that, we have a little bit of a bigger mod, which is the Foster Family mod, which lets it be so that your Sims can foster kids and animals. It's a really cute mod that will let you either watch a kid or an animal until they get adopted, or of course, you can adopt them yourself. Next, we have the Woohoo Wellness mod, which I think most people are aware of, but this mod adds a ton of woohoo and pregnancy related settings. You can get paternity tests, have preferences about wanting kids, get woohoo transmitted diseases, a whole lot, okay? That's another mod you might have to read up on feature-wise because there's a lot more than I can summarize in this quick clip. Moving right along, we have the Realistic Birth mod, which adds things like ultrasounds plus an entire birth system. It includes home births, C-sections, natural births, and is a lot more realistic than the way pregnancy and birth functions in the game without this mod, okay? It just puts a real emphasis on realism. Next, we have the custom nuptials mod, which overrides how weddings and the engagement process work in The Sims. It adds an entire list of services to buy before getting married. It also makes it so that you actually have to buy a ring before being able to propose, and of course, if this is all too much for you, you still have the simple option to elope at a court. But this is a super big must-have for me, so y'all should definitely consider installing this one. Moving right along with the theme of weddings, we have the Ask for Divorce mod, which is a small mod that makes it so that instead of your Sims instantly getting divorced, it makes them have to go through the due processes and pay legal fees and all of that good stuff. Then we have the Family and Pregnancy Life mod, which just adds a bunch of cute family interactions that give off a ton of moodlets and even some pop-ups. Finally, to reel it all in, we have the Mordor mod, which overrides death in The Sims. It makes it so that when a Sim passes, instead of the Grim Reaper magically appearing, you actually have to plan a complete funeral service for your Sim. Next category is the Kids, Teens, and Toddlers category. First mod up is the Jump Rope mod, which just adds the ability for your Sims to jump rope, and this can actually be done with 2 Sims who are either a child or older. It's super cute and also raises their fun and motor skill. Next mod is the Piggyback Ride mod, which lets your Sims give each other piggyback rides. And I don't know what context you would probably use this mod in, but I just like having it installed in my game anyway, so yeah, leave me alone. Then we have the Timeout mod, which is a way to quote-unquote punish your toddler or children's Sims. Me personally, I'm putting my kids in here whenever they get to making those little parenthood mess piles on the floor, so yeah. It's just a cute little something for the kids. Another toddler-related mod I have is the Self-Soothing Toddler mod, which lets your toddler Sims rock themselves to sleep and soothe themselves to get rid of bad moodlets. We're not gonna talk about the fact that a baby rocking back and forth like this is definitely a red flag of some sort, but yeah, we're just gonna move on to the next mod. Next mod is the Summer Camp mod, which adds a bunch of summer camp programs for your child and teen Sims to go to once school is out. They'll leave most of the days of the week and go off to learn skills before coming home and repeating the whole process again the next day. It's a really good way to get your Sims out of the house without having to constantly follow them somewhere. Finally, we have the Dynamic Teen Life mod, which adds onto teens extensively. It adds an in-game popularity system for them. It also gives them more rabbit holes to travel to, makes it so that they have to actually go out and try for after-school activities. This mod is just really detailed and I've been loving having it in my own game. So now that we're done with the kids, teens, and toddler section, let's move on to the last section, which is school-related mods. So first mod up is the Education Overhaul mod, which does exactly what it says. It overhauls the education system in The Sims 4. It makes it so that your kids actually learn skills in school, adds field trip related pop-ups. Sims can even switch to virtual schooling if they want, so I love having this mod installed to give my Sims that good education they deserve. Next is the Simpsons Private School mod, which adds a private school option into the game, but before you can attend, you actually have to invite and impress the headmaster over it, just like in The Sims 2. And there's actually quite a bit you have to do before you can get a golden event with him and actually get your Sims accepted, or you could try bribing him, but you know, that didn't work out too well for me. Next up is the More Classmates mod, which not only allows more students to show up if you have the high school years pack, but it allows you to have more than 2 classes and more than 2 lunch workers, and you can manually pick out all the Sims who fill roles at the high school day and see them the next school day. After that, we have the School Tweaks mod, which adds a bunch of new locker options, such as the ability to buy things directly from your locker, plus turning it into an actual inventory of sorts. But this mod also unlocks certain phone options that would normally be locked during school hours at the risk of your teen Sims getting caught and getting detention or expelled if caught too many times. Unless, of course, they have the teacher's pet reward trait. Finally, back home, we have the University Application Overhaul mod, which makes the entire university progress much more detailed and harder in my opinion, which I'm all for. It makes it so that there are more requirements you have to fulfill instead of just filling out the application and instantly being accepted. You have to get letters of recommendation, study and take entrance exams. Also, there's options to tour the colleges through rabbit holes if you wanted to really get immersed into the idea of a Sim going into college. so I love this mod for realism purposes. The next two mods are pretty interlinked, but it's the university costs more mod, which makes college classes more expensive, which is especially accurate if you are familiar with the US college system. This mod is actually tweakable, so I have it set pretty like low, but you can set it high up to the point where you could be paying like almost 30,000 simoleons to have your Sims enrolled in school. And the second mod that I wasn't able to show as well because my Sim didn't qualify for any scholarships, but it is the higher scholarships mod, which I basically just used to balance out the previous mod by making it so that if I'm paying a lot for my Sim to get into school, their scholarships are also larger. And the final mod in this category is the Choose Your Roommates mod, which allows you to choose your roommate instead of being assigned a completely random one. The only requirement is that they'll need a bed to sleep in and they'll need access to the kitchen and bathroom to autonomously fill all their needs, otherwise they'll move out. So yeah, that is 40 plus mods to help improve you guys' games. I hope this video was helpful, and let me know if you ever want me to showcase some more mods I personally use. But yeah, that is it for me, and don't forget to like and comment, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye guys!